As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. I was born into freedom in a wonderful land of mountains and plains, rivers and lakes. Forever American is what I am. A past as rich as any can be. My father's worked hard to give this to me. I love this place I come from. To live another way I cannot foresee. As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. As an American, I've been to the peaks of majestic mountains where the air is sweet. I've watched the eagle as it soars in beautiful skies that just can't be ignored. And by this country I'll always stand, for freedom and liberty for every man. When times are hard and things get rough, America always stands ready and rough. As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. Forever American is what I am.
Well, hello. Welcome, everybody, to Real News Live. Hi, Alex. Hi, Tia. Hi, Pam. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Rodney. Hi, other Debbie. Hi, Nana. Hi, Matt. Yeah. Hopefully you're doing okay, Debbie. I haven't seen you on for the last couple of days. I noticed you've been out. Quite a few other people were out, too. Hi, William. Make sure you share this out so everybody knows we're live, because, of course, not a lot of people do. You know, we're trying to grow our viewership as much as possible. As the White House, you know, is gloating over these debt limit ceiling bill that was approved late Thursday, and of course, the president signed it today. This is crazy because it's not going to help anything in the long run. Even though Biden's touting the debt limit deal for the first major Oval Office address that he's had, I mean, it's ridiculous. Risk analysis are still saying U.S. downgrade still on the cards despite the debt deal. That's right. The U.S. default on debt has been averted, but the possibility of a credit rating downgrade remains. As the 11th hour debt ceiling negotiations have become almost a regular feature in the United States history. Watching what's happening, it's pretty crazy. The government debt's going to add another $2 trillion over the next year and a half. The risk of downgrading is exacerbated because every time, we flirt with the debt ceiling, and the debt ceiling is getting so high at this point that no matter what, people are afraid to rate the country as a good place to invest money, especially with watching the U.S. currency fall out of favor in a lot of countries around the world right now. It's pretty sad watching what's happening. Of course, the risk of losing the credit rating is just the beginning as dollar value is still falling. Yeah, we might have supposedly high job rates, which I don't understand where they're coming from. The White House is pushing down the throat of people, stating that these are such great deals. Luckily the Senate and the House have some brains at least. The Senate passed a bill, of course, to block Biden's student loan forgiveness program, which means both the Senate and the House have now passed legislation blocking the program. Which is great because nobody needs to be paying $20,000 worth of other people's debt for millions of borrowers in America. Our tax money doesn't need to be going to that. If you borrow money to go to school, you should be able to pay for it. Sorry, but that's the way I feel, and that's the way it should be. Borrowers are still awaiting a decision from the Supreme Court on whether student loan forgiveness program can take effect. The justices are expected to rule later this year in July, but they're also set to resume 60 days after the High Court issued its ruling. 60 days later, after June 30th, the Senate will be back in session, so then they can overrun it. All this leading to millions of other problems. Supposedly job rates are so high, but yet people can't pay their own college loans. The whole system is failing at this point. Drug costs now leading to millions of U.S. citizens not taking medication as prescribed. As drug costs continue to skyrocket, millions of adults in the United States are not taking their medication prescribed because of the cost, according to a new report from the CDC. Most adults between the age of 18 to 64 took at least one prescription medication in 2021, but more than 8% of them, about 9.2 million, said they tried to save money by skipping doses, taking less medication than prescribed, and delaying prescription refills. Average drug costs did not increase in 2021, but the number of prescriptions that did, and the rising spending, of course. More than a third of adults took at least 3 prescription medications in 2021. And according to that data, drug costs nearly rose 5% in that year alone. 1 in 6 people with diabetes are rationing insulin right now. And this is a problem because that's a life-saving and life-needing drug. The main takeaway is 1.3 million people rationing insulin in the United States. One of the richest countries in the world, supposedly. With the most jobs out there, life-saving drugs like rationing insulin can have a life-threatening consequence. Nearly 25% or 23% of all adults are going without health care coverage because Obamacare actually costs more. Pretty sad compared to 7% who had private insurance prior. Less than 7%. It's crazy. This is the way our world's heading. Down the toilet. And huge problems ahead. Watching from everything from our debt ceiling to our jobs numbers being obviously overblown. We will definitely be talking about Biden's fall here in a second, but this drug cost and debt ceiling issue, we raised the national debt. So now we're going to owe more money every year to pay on the national debt, which will require us to borrow more money every year. People don't see the issue with this, and the issue is staring them in the face. These problems are not going to get better. They're going to get worse. I was watching what's happening. It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad to watch what's happening out there. And day in and day out, people are having to figure out what they're going to do next to even pay their bills, to be able to do anything. As the US dollar continues to fall around the world, more issues, of course, keep coming up. And people are struggling for the little things they have. Yeah. There are jobs out there, and some people don't want to work, but there's a lot of jobs that people cannot get. The problem is they want overqualified people. That means people with, like I have a degree. It's not a question. But they want people with degrees to work at McDonald's now because they want to pay $15 an hour. And that's a problem. Either that or McDonald's wants to hire minors to fill those positions. And that happens in a lot of jobs. I mean, it's pretty crazy watching what's happening because the job market is changing. It's almost requiring you to have several degrees in certain fields in order to get jobs that are paying a little bit more than what you would call a living wage at this point. Of course, this is just the tip of the iceberg, as problems with our dollar have been happening for years now, and problems are building up as Chinese currency is now becoming more dominant and prevalent around the world, being traded. It's obvious what's happening. People aren't watching, but it's coming fast. Yeah, they should push apprenticeship programs again. Problem is, to become a journeyman electrician, now you have to have an engineering degree. So even to get an apprenticeship, before you get your apprenticeship to become an electrician, you have to have an engineering degree? Before, it was kids coming out of high school. They would go and start working with an electrician as a helper, then work up to an apprentice, and then they would work through the program. That's no longer the case. And people don't want to work for free, no offense, but that's what they expect. Working for less than a living wage. I'm not going to work for minimum wage at any job in order to get better at it. Especially when I have to pay bills myself. So it's pretty sad what's happening out there. You can pass the state contractor's test. The problem is getting hired to be an apprentice now requires you to have an engineering degree, even to get hired as an apprentice. Let's talk about Biden's fall, though, and this could end up with a President Harris soon enough. I mean, watching what's happening, this is pretty crazy. Thursday, if Biden is reelected, or even if before then, no one should feel good about watching the president fall. Well, this is hard to see. We have honestly, be honest with the American people. Our enemies see the same TV clip and wonder, who is in charge? Joe Biden, the oldest president in history now. And if reelected, we can end up with a President Harris or even before then. That's why I have to repeat. The calls for mental competency tests and term limits for politicians. It's time for a new generation of leadership in Washington. I mean, watching a 80-year-old president take a spill on stage after congratulating the last Air Force graduates on the ceremony. He was uninjured, supposedly. He blamed a sandbag on stage. But nobody else seen the sandbag. I mean, I think we can all be very clear in saying, the matter of fact, that if you vote for Joe Biden, you're really counting on President Harris. So that's the idea. I mean, he will not make it until he's 86 years old as president. It's not something that I think will ever become likely. I mean, this is ridiculous watching the folly of our government. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to watch what's happening, not just watching him fall, but knowing the rest of the world is watching this. Like the rest of the world is watching weapons from us that were supposed to be going to Ukraine are being sold for profits on dark websites. And we're aware of the illegal sales and regarding missing arms shipments. This is crazy. We have weapons like Javelin missiles and HIMARS missiles now showing up on the open market. Of course, what does our government have to say about that? Well, Blinken warns that a ceasefire now would result in basically legitimizing the Russian negotiation and calls for more weapons to go there. To strengthen and negotiate on its own terms for Kiev. I mean, this is crazy. For meaningful diplomacy, supposedly real peace, is a strong Ukraine. Ukraine's not capable of working with itself without corruption. We're spending massive amounts of money to go and ship weapons overseas to them, and they're ending up being sold on the black market around the world. Even Russia has been purchasing these weapons that we did not want to fall into Russian hands. It's pretty crazy. The link to the YouTube channel is in the link tree down below. It's crazy. The address is also in the link down below. Yeah, link for purchase? I don't know. All the links for the page are in the link tree down below. But Miley, said F-16s and tanks are coming, but not in time for a counteroffense. We're going to send them tanks and fighter F-16s now. After we already know that these weapons that we're sending to them are ending up on the black market. The use of mines? Well, Ukraine signed that treaty that they would not use mines, but now they're launching butterfly mines everywhere where citizens are being injured. Yes, Russia's using them too. Russia never signed the treaty for that. Neither did we, as the United States. But Ukraine did, and they're violating their own treaties and using these weapons within their own country, killing their own citizens. And this didn't start now, let's be honest. This started back in 2014, and it has not stopped. I think the only way the West or anything's going to get settled out of this is let the territories that voted to become part of Russia become part of Russia. Quit this long game, mid game fighting and trying to push for more tactics and push the American way into war. Because right now, it's all about the American dollar. And right now, we're rolling so much in the private military industry. Nobody is going to push against it in the government. And that's a huge problem. Watching what's happening in the private military industrial complex, all this money is going directly into that. So we're paying millions of dollars to fund this war in Ukraine. And all we're really doing is padding the pockets of Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, and Halliburton. Those are just a few companies. Watching what's happening, Russia's taking advances. Russia's calling up the full force of its military at this point. And nobody's worried? I mean, they're planning to try to train people in F-16 training classes and flying tactical and training locations. I mean, this is crazy. And the Netherlands and Britain, of course, is where they would have to go. I mean, this is a joke at this point. We're going to send Abrams tanks that they don't even know how to operate. Much less the support vehicles could not even be used over there. It is absolutely ridiculous. Hold on a second. I'll start up the voice call so you will be able to call in. I have to turn it on though. Oh, watching this though, it is sickening. All right, you should be able to call in now. Do you want to call in? Sorry about that. This is crazy. He tripped over his own feet. It was a mega sound. I mean, watching everything that's happening, it's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. This is a truly sad state of affairs we are in, watching what is happening around the world, watching what is happening in our own backyard. Our weapons showing up in countries like Mexico and the cartel. Did you even know that our weapons are in Mexico right now? The weapons we sent to Ukraine. We gave them to fight a war. Those weapons are now showing up in our own backyard. And who's doing anything about that? Is this just a way for us to invade Mexico?
Ring.
Because that has been
Ring,
claimed
ring.
before that we should do that. Hi, how you doing tonight, Debbie?
I'm doing good, Chris. I know I missed a few shows, had family stuff going on, which, thank God, everything has worked out just the way it should have, and everyone's good. But this thing with Biden falling, it broke my heart. Everybody's laughing at us. Whoever is allowing him to continue to do this, there should be some kind of something done against them. I mean, enough is enough. I mean, I thought Major Mallory Green or whatever was filing articles of impeachment, and that Rule 24 or whatever for mental competence was going to be done against him. What the hell? Why aren't our Republicans doing something?
Because there's no mental competency test that you can force the president to take right now. And that's the problem.
Well,
the House and the Senate need to pass a law stating that mental competency testing needs to be done on anybody that's going to serve in office.
I thought they did that to Trump. Didn't Miss Bitchy Pelosi do something?
No, they tried to do mental competency testing, but it wasn't a law. How did Fetterman get elected? Look at the Senate.
Exactly.
Fetterman got elected, and there's no way he's capable of serving.
He can't even utter a full sentence. I mean, oh my God. And you know what? Like, the Democrats, I call them the demonic Demorats.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the way that they are treating these people, this is evil, this is heartless, this is just like, it's heart-wrenching to watch this happen. And this is our government.
Yeah.
And then something else that I don't know if you've talked about it, but what I want to bring up, what the hell is going on with Trump and DeSantis? Can they please stop? I mean, why are they battering like two little boys in a sandbox? Why are we doing this?
They're like bulls right now. That's the problem. And that's the problem with our Republicans in the first place is we fight amongst each other more than we fight amongst the actual idiots we're trying to win against.
Exactly. And I am, quite frankly, very sick of hearing our Republicans get up there and give this big speech about right and doing this and doing that. And it's air. They're doing nothing. What the hell? the shit with Hunter Biden. Why isn't he in jail? All the stuff that was just released on him with the child porn and him with underage minors or underage girls. Why isn't he in jail? They have the evidence.
Because he's the president's son.
I don't know.
It's a joke.
If that was Trump's
it's a
son,
joke at this point.
if that was Trump and that was one of his children, oh my God, the sky would be falling right now. I mean, I'm just like, I am so disgusted with both parts of our government right now. Like, what are our Republicans doing? What are they really doing?
They're not doing
Besides
anything. Nothing's being accomplished.
Nothing. Not a damn thing. They're giving us a lot of loose air. They talk a good game, and then they petal out like a balloon that you just let the air out of.
Yep.
You know, I'm just like, I'm so disgusted. And right now, I don't know what to think about all this shit between Trump and DeSantis. You can't keep this fight up. They got to stop. You know,
that's no question.
Trump had his base, and I don't know where that's going right now because a lot of people are getting really fucking sick of the shit.
Well, it's not even just his, it's the back and forth. Every single time, everybody's got to go back and forth of the same garbage.
Yeah, and they're saying that
DeSantis... It's already been settled. Let it go.
DeSantis, so what's the latest hoopla about all this? Because I talk to a lot of people at my job, and, you know, there are a lot of, we're strong Trump supporters. We believe in him. We believe that he is the answer. But a lot of us are looking at him now and going, okay, DeSantis never said a bad word about you. He never went against you until you started slamming him when he put his hat in the ring.
That's not true.
I mean,
it wasn't publicized nationwide, but here in Florida, DeSantis has been attacking Trump longer than Trump's been attacking DeSantis.
Okay, well, we didn't know that overall here.
So, yeah. It's
and I
sad.
thought the ticket would have been for, pardon?
DeSantis and Trump would never be good on the ticket together, only because DeSantis and Trump have very different ideas of the same kind of solution. They'll be fighting each other the whole time in office as vice president.
Really?
I think a marching to the green, Trump, or a DeSantis and maybe Tom Scott would be...
Yeah, because didn't he throw his hat in the ring too?
Yep. Tom Scott's hat's in the ring. So that's obviously a clear choice for DeSantis as a running mate.
And then didn't Kennedy throw his hat in there for the Democrats?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Kennedy is running as a Democrat, but he is not a true Democrat.
Right.
He is a constitutionalist at heart. And I want to say this again, the Kennedys have always been this way.
Right.
They've always been about the Constitution, about giving the people back the power that they deserve. And I would, honestly, if I thought he had a chance, because Democrats aren't going to give him a platform, if I thought he had a chance, that's who I would vote for.
Exactly, because I'm not a Democrat either. You know what? And I can't say that I'm a true Republican. I vote where I don't know where I am. Okay, then that's when I guess that's what I want what's best for our country. You know, I had to register as a Republican to vote in where you get to put whoever the person is up to be president. I had to change from because I had me as a libertarian and they wouldn't let me vote. So I had to change it to a Republican so I could vote for Trump. But you know what? Kennedy might not be. He might be the way out. I mean, something has to happen.
The problem is Democrats are not going to give him the platform. They already have a Biden-Harris campaign. They're already going to push Biden-Harris through. Biden-Harris, and the problem is if DeSantis and Trump don't stop fighting, we're going to see another Biden-Harris.
Yeah, they're going to give it to him because they need to stop.
That's the problem.
All right,
because
baby,
there's
come
too
on.
many people are going to say never Trump or never DeSantis on the Republican side. and they're just not going to vote when it comes to the election. And that's going to end up in a situation where we end up with a freaking Biden-Harris.
I totally freaking agree.
Again.
I agree. And I don't, can't these people wake up? I mean, come on now.
I mean,
Nobody
yeah,
is happy
Trump
with...
called people bad names. Trump used inappropriate language on Twitter. Guess what? He did what the country needed.
Yes.
And people are saying, well, he extended the debt ceiling by $8 trillion. $5 trillion of that was COVID spending that he had no control over. It had to be done. He was in office, and massive things had to happen.
Will you either come out with mommy or stay in the house? You're just a full brat. Another thing. Is it Pfizer? Okay. The vaccine. Okay, so one of them, I think it's Pfizer, that put the vaccine out, has now
We cannot
bought
talk about
the
that at all.
pharmaceutical company.
We cannot talk about that at all.
Oh, we can't? Okay. You know where I'm going.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
What? What the hell? What the hell? I don't know.
Ridiculous. That's all I can
feel
say.
like we are all in this basket of eggs, and they're shaking it to see which eggs are going to break, and then we're just going to... Will you stop? Mommy is on the phone. Like my dog. God. I just had a real health scare with her. That was one of the reasons that I wasn't on, is I thought she was going to have to be put down because she was really sick, and she's my baby. But I don't know. I'm just listening to a lot of people, and like a lot of people are getting really discouraged, and I don't know what to do. Like, I'm on Trump's pages and all that, and I'm like, stop your crap. Stop. Because it's only turning people against him. And right now, we really need to come together to get a good, solid president in there, and we're all on the same page, because otherwise we're doomed.
It's crazy.
So, okay, well, I apologize for being gone for a few days. Hi, everybody. Loved you guys. Missed you guys.
Be safe. Sounds like you're
As you can tell, I have a very needy baby. But, all right. I hope Grandpa's doing okay and you're doing okay. And
yeah.
I'll talk to you later, okay?
All right. Talk
All right,
to you
bye.
later. God bless you. Crazy. It's just crazy. We're in a political experiment. Not just by the left, it's the government in whole. The government in a whole is a political experiment at this point. It's just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Watching what's happening. God bless you all. God bless America. Be safe. Be strong. Of course, if you can afford to support the channel, please do. We definitely appreciate that. But we will see you guys tomorrow night. Hopefully we'll be doing better. But until then, be safe, be strong, stand tall. Take back America at this point is what we're down to. Either we take it back or we lose it altogether. So we need to make a choice. Choices may not be easy, but that's what we got to do. God bless you all. God bless America, and good night.